Hey, what's up, everyone? I was just reminded of an article that came out a few months ago, and it's set to affect a lot of us in the coming days. So I just wanted to share it with you again. So this article I have, excuse the glare, please, was on the firearms blog, and it was actually featured in a lot of other firearms websites. If you'd like to see the article for yourself, what I would do is I would Google Vista Outdoors and ammunition prices or something like that, and it'll pop up. But just to let you know, Vista Outdoors is a very large outdoor firearms type company, and they are the company that owns Remington, Federal Premium, CCI, Spear, and a bunch of other companies. So as you can imagine, they're responsible for a lot of the ammunition that's on the market. So this article is from December 21st of last year, and they were talking about upcoming ammo prices. So I guess because it was the end of the year, they decided to get the information out to their distributors and whatnot. So I'm just going to read this letter that they sent out, and so like I said, just it's from December 21st, 21. Dear customer, thank you for your business and for your continued support of American jobs in manufacturing as we continue to see supply chain constraints and increases in our raw materials. We are increasing our pricing to help offset those rising costs. Effective April 1st, 2022, CCI, Federal, Heavy Shot, Remington, and Spear ammunition will take the following price increases: primers 5%, powder 5%, handgun 2 to 8%, rifle 3 to 8%, shotgun 3 to 12%. Additionally, due to continued demand, no new primer orders will be accepted until further notice. Unless you notify us to cancel an order, we will reprice all existing and future orders shipped on or after 4/1/2022 to the new prices. You will receive the finalized price list no later than March 15th, 2022. Thank you for your continued support of our brands and our American workforce. Jason R. Vanderbrink, President of Ammunition. Now, I went out today, and you're probably going to get sick of seeing this, but I bought another brick of Federal Premium, basically the cheap bulk stuff, 325 rounds, 22 LR. It was $21 at Walmart. And I think it might be a good idea if you do too. Now, a few things. First of all, as you see, that's old news. That article was written about 2.5, almost 3 months ago, so it's old news. I bring it up because I saw a couple of YouTube stations mention it because April 1st is around the corner. So I said, you know what, it's a good idea because, some people, you're not subscribed to all channels, maybe one here, one there, whatever. So I thought I would remind everyone of it. Now, the thing I do disagree with is that they are telling people, don't go out and like, go crazy buying ammunition, don't hoard and all this other stuff. But I got to tell you, I kind of disagree. If you're the type of person who goes to the range, once every 6 months, I mean, I wouldn't go out and buy 50 boxes of stuff you're not going to use. You only might, but I would maybe pick up a box or two just to kind of stay ahead of things. But if you're the type of person who does shoot frequently, either just for fun, you do it for training, competition, I'd probably stock up now if you could, because they're telling you right now that they're going up between 2% and 8%, or for shotgun shells, 3% and 12%. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, that they're not taking any more primer orders. So, with that in mind, you might, if you see primers someplace, you might want to pick them up now rather than later. And it pains me to say that because I did a video recently saying, the primer prices are crazy. So if you saw them for a price that's not too crazy, let's say, if they were a crazy price, I would tell them where they can shove their primers. But typically, I don't blame them for raising prices. I did a video you might have remembered a few months ago, and I will link it in the description because I think it's kind of interesting. And what I did was I looked at prices for lead, copper, and I forget what else I might have looked at, but I basically looked at the raw material prices from like 2 months ago and then like maybe a year or so before that. And there's been a huge increase in prices for raw materials. Like percentage wise, you might, lead is a pretty cheap metal. I mean, if you think about it, gold is like 1,900 and something dollars per ounce. Lead is like $1.40 per pound. So it's a pretty cheap metal. Copper, again, gold 1,900 something dollars per ounce. Copper is like $4.60 per pound. So in the grand scheme of things, they're pretty cheap metals. But you look at the percentage increases, and I mean the percentage increases were pretty substantial. I think they're like 20 or 30% increases, and I mean eventually that cuts into your profit, and you have to make a choice. Am I going to tolerate a little bit of cutting into my profit, or am I going to pass it on to the consumers? And if so, how much will I pass on? Will I pass on the whole thing or a smaller amount? Well, I mean, at some point you have to pass things on to the consumer. And I mean, it's there for all the world to see. I mean, when you're seeing that the the raw materials used to make the ammunition are rising. I mean, it's right there in the open market for anyone to see. I mean, you can go to metals websites and see that the prices are rising quite a bit. You can see that the 1 year inflation rate for this past month, for I believe it was done until the end of February. From February of this year, from last year this year, rose 7.9%. So we know labor prices are increasing. So we have labor prices increasing. We have 7.9% inflation, plus we have even higher levels than that in the metals industry. Prices are going to increase, and I got to be honest with you. If the prices do end up increasing only like 2% to 8%, considering everything that's going on, I really don't think that's bad. That's not something I'd complain about. Now, my thinking is that that was written 3 months ago, that we might actually be closer to the higher ends on things. I would expect there to be closer to 8% increases than 2% increases, just based on, again, general inflation, the labor market, and raw materials. So I'm not complaining about that. But with all that said, I really don't see anything wrong with stocking up if you can stock up or you have a certain need to stock up. Now, I'm not a competitive shooter. I don't go to the range, once or twice every week. So I don't have a need where I have to really stock up on things. But I still like to stock up. I didn't need this 325 pounds. I mean, not that anyone would say that's an example of hoarding. And if they do, really, they can go to hell if they think if they're so upset if I had bought 3 or 4. Because I don't care. If you go through a lot of 22, let's say you're a dad who goes to the range, you like showing your kids how to shoot, and you go through all 22. I certainly wouldn't judge you for buying a few boxes of this at $21 a box. I think you're crazy if you don't. If you can afford it comfortably, go buy it. So basically, if you hear anyone trying to shame others for hoarding, I would kind of ignore that. I'd go out and I'd buy what you need. Stay mindful of that 4-1 date, because to be honest with you, next week I'll probably go out and buy another brick of ammo. And you know what? I'm not shooting. I didn't shoot this past week. I'm not shooting next week. I might not go shooting the week after. I don't know. I don't really plan those things too far in advance, but I'm still going to buy them just to kind of stack them aside, because if this does go up 8%, that means it's going to go from about $21 and change to about $23 and change. That's another $2 I'm saving. Buying 2 or 3 of these, that's about $6 to $7 I'm saving, plus sales tax on top of it. So, yeah, that's actually real money, and I want to save it. And while I don't fault the ammunition companies or the stores for passing on those costs, I do believe that the money's better off in my pocket than theirs. And that's kind of my view on things. So, again, if you want to search for that article, just go on Google, type in Vista Outdoors ammunition prices, and it was put up there in I think December 21st. So check it out, and you can see it with your own eyes. Have a good one. I will talk to you later.